thank you very much for taking the time to join me today, Clive. I'm very excited to be here with you. We've heard a lot about your excellent and inspirational leadership from Matt Dawson, because he actually spoke at one of our events last year. So I'm delighted to be here and speak to you directly to learn about your successes and lessons learned. You managed to take the England rugby team from 6th in the world to number 1. And whilst we will hear more about that at Lettings Live, to give us an idea, in your opinion, what do you think is the most important thing that enabled the team to get to number 1 and win the World Cup in 2003?
I think first there's no one magic answer, but I think if I had to choose kind of one thing that I'd prioritise, when you work with the England team, you're the kind of I'm the kind of the head coach or the boss. But when I'm kind of looking at the team, they all came from 12 different clubs. We had different coaches in the room, as well as myself, Andy Robertson, Dave Orr. We had a lot of expertise in the room, including the players. What we became really good at was kind of pooling all our knowledge and learning. So I would be fascinated to see what the what they're doing in their own clubs, what they're doing at Leicester, what they're doing at Wasps, what they were doing at Saracens. So the players had a lot of input into what they actually did, and my job as head coach was kind of disseminate this information and then say, okay, what's going to work for England now? So we call this peer group learning, meaning that the peer group is everyone in the room. So it's not just me as the kind of boss going tell. I think that's pretty kind of old school. A lot of this came from my business background. I ran a small business for 8 years, and I think I'm kind of good at listening to other people. But then you've got to make a decision. You've got to absolutely act on it and put it in place. So the peer group learning was very, very powerful within that team, and because at the end of the day, you're in that room, and there's this remarkable amount of knowledge, and I think it's a mistake for the people running it to actually think, right, I know it all. And I think you got to get knowledge in, and then you as the coach you go, right, okay, got everyone's thoughts, this is what we're going to do. But you keep building on it. You don't just only stop. Every time you play a game, you learn more things, you get input, you adjust, and you move on. And that was, I'd say, the number one thing. And I see that, when I had this amazing job with Team GB, which gave me access to all 26 sports that did so well in London 2012. When you sit in the back of their rooms, you see why some teams go well and why you see some teams don't go well. And it's normally because the teams that go well generally do operate as a team, meaning the team all inputs, but then the leader absolutely disseminates it all and says, okay, got it all, that's where we're going to go. And then the team all go in that direction. You can go in one direction, may not be the right direction, but if everyone goes in that direction, it tends to be okay. It's when you go in that direction, you've got people splintering off, teams can break up. So I'd say that would be the number one thing that I'd say took the team from number 6 to number 1. And also, we kind of went from there to there, but it wasn't this wonderful straight line. It never is in sport or business. We had massive losses on the way, but again, it's how you learn from them. How you all sit around the table, okay, what happened, what went well, what went wrong. So you can learn from success, and undoubtedly, but you can also learn from setbacks. So that's the kind of the track record of the actual team.
Excellent, thank you. And based on your experience as head coach and also director of sport for Team GB, what in your experience would you say are the key characteristics of a champion performer?
So I think as a champion performer, meaning an individual, number one is what I just explained. That individual really has to input. It's not just about sitting there with your arms folded and accepting what the coach says. If you want to become a real champion athlete, rugby player, business person, I think you've got to take a lot of personal responsibility as well in terms of inputting all your thoughts and knowledge. So I kind of covered that in what I just said. But I think on terms of that, I think real champions, I love this word pressure. I think champion individuals, again, in sport and business, perform when pressure's at its greatest. I mean, you can't hide from pressure. It's it's there. The big deal, the big pitch, awkward meetings in business, whatever, Rugby World Cups, Olympic Games. Pressure is there. It's how you perform under pressure. And I don't think anybody is born to play under pressure. Pressure is something you can teach people, you can coach people. I spent a huge amount of time coaching every individual in the England rugby team of how to handle pressure situations and what we're going to do. And that is one of the real key things that distinguishes a high-performing athlete or business person, because anyone can do it when there's no pressure on. The real champions peak, perform when the pressure's at its greatest. So that would be the second thing on top of your ability to add knowledge and really be inquisitive. I think the last thing, I just use the word attitude. I think people's attitude is, I think attitude is a great word. It goes across most languages, most cultures. He or she has got the right attitude. But again, I don't necessarily think you're born with attitude. I think attitude is someone you can define, you can break it down, you can coach every area of this to improve someone's attitude to what they actually do. And there's no doubt the high performers have the most amazing attitude. It's funny that the more talented people there are, the easier to manage and coach. It's the people who aren't the real top people tend to be the awkward ones. You've got to really sort out. It's the high achievers have amazing attitude, and they're normally a dream to work with, and that they kind of push you as hard as you push them to achieve the results. So I'd say a high performer, you need talent. Be very clear. You've got to have that talent, but once you've got that talent, which a lot of people have, your ability to learn, input your knowledge into a situation, your ability to play or perform under pressure, and your attitude would be the kind of the four key things I look for in any high performing individual.
On the 10th of June, we're very much looking forward to hearing your session, One Team. Would you be able to give us an idea of what attendees can expect from your session and what the key takeaways will be?
Yeah, I talk about this concept called One Team. I think that the key thing in my talks presentation, I'm not talking theory, I'm not there to lecture to people, I'm just going to take the people who are going to be there through what I've done, most importantly in business and sport, of how you generally create this one team. So it's not theory. I've got a 18-year business background in a big corporate with Xerox and my own small company, a small leasing and finance company. So I had 18 years of working in big teams, or in a large corporate and a small business, and I could draw on all my experiences of there. And then I kind of was coaching the England rugby team and created a team there, and then was director of sport for Team GB. So again, we created the same process. So it's not theory. I'm just taking people through what I actually did, and the key thing to any one team is it generally is a team, meaning you need leadership. Be very, very clear. I absolutely believe leadership is fundamental to any successful team. But I think the good leaders, the top leaders, really get every ounce of energy and support from your team members. I want everybody inputting around the table. I won't allow anyone to sit and fold their arms and not contribute. If you either want to be involved with the team or not involved with the team. That's why I found high-performing teams get every individual really contributing to everything involved with the actual team. So I take people through those kind of process, but how do you go about doing that? Because it's not as easy just saying a few words. How do you actually get everybody to contribute? How do you get the right lessons learned coming out the top, which is the definition of a truly high-performing team?
Excellent, fantastic, thank you. I'm very much looking forward to the session on the 10th of June.
Thank you.